23-year-old son, why his father has to come for his rescue always. No, for how long father? They will keep hiding behind their influential big names father. He's an adult. He can pretty much handle his own controversies in show business.
You have become insecure about your success. Has your success actually been a penalty for you?
Along with Chetan. Kangana, thank you for joining us this evening. We'd like to hand it over to you to share a few words. Well, I'm told that you have gone through the book already. And so before we get into the delight of the conversation, for you to just share with us your overall view of being associated with the book launch. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone.
Can you hear her? Keep it really
Can
close.
you guys hear me? Okay, so... No, I think this is okay. This is okay, right? This is fine, huh? Okay, so I've read the book and I'm sure everyone's going to love it. And it's a very special book. It's a very human take on, a woman's life, a working woman's life. Today's girls who are struggling with their professional lives and personal lives. And it's a lot more endearing and a lot more meaningful because it is coming from a man. That's what makes it very special. And I've become a Chetan Bhagat fan all over again after this book. And when I read it, I was in tears. Actually, a few things pushed me to, made me very emotional because they sounded like, like a leaf out of my own book. So, my own experiences. So, well, I think we should, I should ask Chetan a few questions and...
What we are going to do is, rather than make it very boring book launch type, the plan is she'll ask me 1 or 2 questions, I'll ask her 1 or 2 questions, and then we'll try to be honest and answer them. If Kangana feels comfortable, maybe we'll take 1 or 2 questions from you guys, but you have to ask nice, good questions, okay? And then we'll read a little bit from the book, only a little bit, okay? How does that sound? Sound like a plan? Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so you want to ask me first? Okay.
Yeah, because I think, because I love the book, I have a lot to ask, and we didn't meet before this because I wanted it to be a very spontaneous conversation. So this book mostly talks about how a woman who's given equal opportunities like a man, today we are talking about gender equality and all of that, and how we deserve equal opportunity as a matter of fact. But when we give our women that, they are deprived of their basic feminine rights, like love, care, trust, and nurturing, right? That is what the book largely talks about. So I want to ask Chetan that at some point, because he's a married man, he's been in several relationships. So at some point, did he feel... No, but I know...
Yeah.
Okay, so... Guys, I'm playing an interviewer for the first time. Please cooperate.
Okay. No.
Yeah, so did he at any point feel insecure of a woman's success, his woman's success, or he felt jealous and competitive of his own partner?
Or straight away you ask me such a difficult question.
No, but let's come to the point. No point moving, beating around the bush.
I thought she's going to ask me, how are you feeling today, book launch. She's asking me if I have felt insecure. I think it's a very good question. Because the book talks about this woman and how her boyfriends become insecure of her success. And so she's asking me, tell me honestly, if as a man I have been insecure. Well, I have a very overachiever wife, actually.
Well, this is a very, it's like...
अब आपने पूछा तो हम भी पूछे.
पे नमक छिड़क दिया आपने. No, seriously, I think this is a very sensitive topic. Any working woman would relate with me that when we are not successful, when I was not doing well, and I was dating men more successful than me, I felt like I was devalued. I felt like I was not given my due as a woman, as a partner. I was not acknowledged. And men behaved borderline indifferent. So that gave me more motivation to do well. Just how it works for men, like you know a certain woman and you want to be worthy of her, right? For whatever reason, for a better companion, for a better future, for a stable future, you want to do well for yourself, not just for a partner, but why you want to move ahead in life and be successful. We have the same reason as men do, So you want to be worthy of your partner. And usually for a man it works. You know, when he acquires a certain social stature and he goes up to the same woman who's not, doesn't want to acknowledge him, or, you know, doesn't want to, accept him, it works for him. But in a woman's case, it works the other way around. I've felt in my relationship that my success have always gone against me. You know, like there is a certain, okay, here's an analogy. My analogies are usually a bit weird, but I think when I was not successful, men behaved more like a hard-to-please father figure. You know, like hard to please. But when I became successful, they behave more like an evil, jealous sibling. You know, like I felt like they will put my closet on fire. They were jealous of my fashion sense also, you know, like everything was about competing with me. You know, like, oh, you're doing this? Look at me. You know, you achieved this? Okay, let me blow my trumpet anywhere, anytime. So it became unbearable. So I would say that when I was not successful, my relationships weren't so bad. Because, like I said, in different fathers' case, there is still a lot of trust. There is still a lot of faith and occasional nurturing, right? But an evil sibling, there is loss of desire. First of all, you feel a certain loss of desire between the, your couple life. You feel that the man is more focused on competing with you, proving you wrong, crushing you and your ego, and completely demolishing you. And there is not even little bit trust left. So I don't know what evokes this in a man, but it's been horrible. After my success, my relationship has gone completely for a toss.
Wow. In fact, I remember casually chatting with you once, and I asked you, Kangana, you are so successful now. There's articles about the highest paid actress, so many awards. Any award you want, you've got it. What would you have more of today? More success or more love?
Well, we want to be successful for love, right?
Is that true? Is that you want to be successful for love?
Absolutely. There is no other reason to life, is there? Like if a man wants to be an achiever for more admiration, for more love, a woman doesn't have any other reason. For anyone to feel that a woman has another agenda behind wanting to be successful or earn money, or she's ambitious, so she has some agendas, there's no agenda. It's simply for love, for more admiration, for wanting to be seen as your abilities, not as like a 55 kgs weight that you carry, right? I want to be seen as my abilities, my skills, like the artist I am, I want to be seen as my qualities, not as the girl, like I said, 55 kgs.
You're only 55 kgs. I'm so jealous actually. We are all very jealous of your weight. But so seriously, you would rather have more love than more success, and you're saying you don't have enough love? Kangana Ranaut, one of the most beautiful, desirable women in the country, doesn't have love. Guys, what are you doing? Seriously.
Thank you.
You really feel that? Is it because of certain relationships that have made you feel that way? That people have let you down, or you're not lovable enough or something?
Well, like I said, when I wasn't successful, then I wasn't good enough. And when I became successful, I became the person to compete with, So where is the time for love? So you see, but like I said, there are plenty of men out there. We still have a lot of hope. Look at you. He supports his wife. He's, I think we need more examples like this. And I think when our leading men, when an author like Chetan Bhagat is going to write about a woman's journey, from a daughter's point of view, a mother's point of view, a sister's point of view, it's going to make a lot of difference. And I want to ask you, this brings me to this question that usually, because I am a certified screenwriter, and when I read any writer's work, I can tell that whether they have delved into the psyche of the character or not. So when I read this, initially let me tell you, I do not take women character written by men very seriously, and that's why most my director let me work on my character and flesh them out on my own. So when I read this, I'm like, kya likha hoga? Let me read it, like that.
Okay.
No, but after I read it, I was so impressed, and I asked him that didn't scare you to enter the psyche of a woman, because every writer knows when we are done with the character, there's a part of any character, whether it's evil character, antagonist, protagonist, good, bad, child, a part of it remains in us.
You said to me it's the first feminist love story I've seen.
Yeah.
It's the first feminist.
So I have one question, which I will actually want to ask. I've been meaning to ask an intelligent man. I didn't come across any for a while. So now that we are here, so
What about, you mean you've not dated intelligent men?
No, for a while.
For a while.
I
Okay.
haven't come across. So this question I want to ask, that there is this relationship I was in, and I was dating this guy who's not an actor. He's a doctor, and for us, though I was, a few years ago, I was in my mid-20s, he's a young doctor, but I still made a lot more money than him. For me, it was nice to go back to that environment where I actually grew up in, you know. Real people, real environment. It was little, you know, it took me aback to lose my identity, like, because they were white people. He's an English guy. For me, it was little hard to sort of come to a world where I'm just, you know, like leading an anonymous life. But I still came to terms with it. It was hard for him to adjust to my environment. Though I don't have hanky-panky filmy friends, all my friends are very humble. But every time he'd meet my friends, he would ask me, what did your friends think of me? Am I some small fry? He never spoke like that, you know, and it was so heartbreaking to see him under that kind of a stress. So I remember one incident when we were in London, and how your movie star friends suggest you places that to go to, you know, like one of the best restaurants in the world and all of that. So I said that, you know, we should go here. And he Googled, and he's like, I don't want to spend so much on food. I said, I want to go there and I want to pay for it. Can I? Because he liked paying for everything. He seemed okay with that. We went there, we had dinner, it was amazing. When it came to paying for the food, I swiped the card and everything, and he started to get psyched in a very unnatural way, you know, like he would ask me, what is this waiter thinking about me? I said, do you know the waiter? And he's like, no, but even that lady was looking at us. I said, do you know that lady? He's like, why do men do that? And that dinner became like a trauma, and I'm sure it was equally traumatic for him as well, because it led to a, you know, like an argument and then fight, and I cursed myself for even suggesting that I want to pay, you know. But if I can do laundries for him, go back to an anonymous life, being, you know, like a major movie star, he cannot come to terms with my environment, even if it is for like half an hour. Why do men do that?
Okay. So I'm not going to defend men, and I'm not going to make this about men versus women, but
Now, you being a successful woman, how difficult is it to be in a relationship with another successful man who is from the same industry? Like, how difficult is that?
Like I said, you know, I just explained that equations change. When you're not successful enough, then you are devalued. And when you become successful, then there is a competition spirit that creeps into you, into both of you. And I don't know if it is actually about the profession, because like I said, I've dated a guy who's not from the same profession as well. But there was this constant tension between us every time matter of monies came up, filing tax, or even one dress of mine, how much it costs, you know, and everything was like as if I was trying to hide, just to not, you know, like literally walking on eggshells, not to, you know, hurt egos. But it's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard to find someone who can hold his own before you when you're so successful.
Kangana,
You're human, you know, you would consider other human as well. And as far as a convenient life that I want somebody to do up my laundry and, you know, cook food for me and iron my clothes, you know, that even women need that sort of luxury. It's not that we don't, you know. So in the name of, you know, so I think that name that you've given, feminism, humanism, I completely agree with. And I think what I want to tell women is that I think for centuries now women have been exploited in the name of sacrifice. That, you know, if you're a nice woman and if you are a fair woman, you know, you would sacrifice your services in the name of family and children. I think there's nothing called sacrifice. If a woman contributes to a family and builds up a family together with a man and invests in his career and lets him build his career for their better future, it's a contribution, it's a full-time job. If today I leave my job and decide to be a housewife, that doesn't mean I'm because sacrifice doesn't demand anything in return, right? So I feel housewives are not given their respect every time, at least in my experience. A housewife asks for money, she's not given for her honor, as if, she's asking for herself. And a woman who works and a woman who has, she's not given that kind of love and care and trust which housewives enjoy. So housewives are not given dignity, and career women are not given trust and love. So I think we today, as modern women, are very conflicted. We have to decide between, whether to choose either, but I don't think it's any, rational thinking. Because if tomorrow I choose to be, like today, if I choose to raise a family, I would want respect and honor in return for my contribution. I am investing the best years of my life into raising a family. So I need my respect along with care and love. And if I'm a career woman, I choose not to have babies, and I choose not to have marriage, or get married, not have babies, or have babies, not get married. I still want the same kind of trust. Just because I can survive in cutthroat competition, just because I can demolish people and rise like a phoenix, doesn't mean I can't be trusted, doesn't mean I can't be loved, doesn't mean I'm not worthy of mothering my offsprings. It doesn't say none of this. So I think this book, in a very romantic way, not in a harsh way, like I'm speaking like really matter of fact, but it's been put in a story, and I think I really appreciate this, saying important things than actually saying in your face.
Always stood for what's right. And recently Rakesh Roshan said that even when someone is spreading lies about him,
Sir, this is not the place for that.
No, but I want to know, why can't Indian men stand up for themselves? He's a 43-year-old son. Why his father has to come for his rescue always? No, for how long father? They will keep hiding behind their influential big names father. He's an adult. He can pretty much handle his own controversies in show business. It's just a simple controversy. Why daddies have to always, save their sons? I don't understand this.
Thank you very much, Kangana.
All right, on that.
Thank you very much, Chetan. Kindly come forward.